All right, what is going on, everybody? Today we have a very special video. I'm going to be showing you guys how to optimize your PPC campaigns on Amazon step by step, what to do. I'm going to basically go over just about everything there is to do with setting up your first campaigns and actually reading the data so that you can get started, getting those sales coming in, ranking for those keywords, and getting those checks from Amazon. So this right here is actually a client's account. So I'm going to have to kind of block out some of the details. Normally, if you're looking at your Amazon ads account, you'll see the name up at the top right. It may look a little different depending on what layout you have. I'm not sure if there's another layout now, but sometimes they do change stuff around. So, you might be wondering if you're looking at this information, maybe you're fairly new to PPC, you might be wondering, what do I need to worry about? What information is actually important whenever you're optimizing your account? What should I actually care about? So there's a few things right here. A lot of people, they like to look at like the impressions, or they like to look at the clicks or the cost per click. All that stuff is useful, and it does have its purpose. But the real thing that I think you should be focused on, one of the main things is going to be your spend. For one, you should know how much you're spending on ads. This is very important for obvious reasons. You have to know how much you're spending to know if the ads are effective or not, right? So the spend is very important. The other things are going to be the sales. So if you're looking at this graph, you can see that this spend section is highlighted in blue. This particular client, we're not spending a bunch of money. They have a fairly low budget for paid advertising. They get a lot of organic sales from their brand and whatnot. So we're not spending a ton on ads, but I'll go into the strategy involved for low budget PPC on Amazon and what I think you should do if you're just now starting out running your campaigns, and how I would actually structure your campaigns. So as you can see, we got the spend, we have the sales, impressions, clicks, ROAS. So say you're just starting out and you just launched your campaign, for example, and you're trying to figure out what is effective. This ROAS right here is a good column to look at to try to determine how something is performing. So for example, if we go over here and we look at, let's see here, go to this one, for example. We're going to go to glycine. This is a product that they have. Wait for it to load. All right, so we're spending $10 a day, which is not a lot at all. Not a lot at all, but it is good enough to start out and start to kind of get the ball rolling, get some data, get some clicks on your product, and start to get some data to where you can optimize and to where Amazon can even start to optimize your campaign. Over time, what you may see is the cost per click for your campaign, if it's set up properly. If you're running like an auto campaign or whatever kind of campaign it is, generally, as long as your product is good and everything is set up right, you will see where the cost per click may start to slowly go down. So that is a good thing, because obviously you want to be paying less money per click if you want to be profitable running your ads. So newer campaigns, typically, unless your product is just really good or you have a bunch of reviews right off the bat for some reason, typically it's not going to be profitable right away. This is a fairly new product, but we're getting some pretty good results already. Not too bad, not too bad at all. So what I would typically do whenever I am optimizing this is there's a couple places you can look. So the first place you can look is you can go to the placements. Now this is going to show you where the ads are basically where they're running at and how they're performing at different locations. See if I can move this real quick so you can see. Okay, so you have here, you have top of search, you have product pages, and you have rest of search. So if you go over here, you can actually adjust the bid on each different section. So for example, let's say for example, on the top of search, you're getting a really good return on ad spend. Your ACoS is really low. If you don't know what the ACoS is, it's the advertising cost on sales. Think about this almost like golf. The lower this number is, the better typically speaking. So you want a low ACoS and you want a high return on ad spend. So you can look over here, you can see how everything's performing. Say on top of search, if I wanted to adjust this, which right now I'm not really going to, because there's no real noticeable, there's not enough of a performance increase on the top of page for me to actually adjust this. But what you would do is you'd come in here and you'd say maybe 10% or 15%. You don't want to go too crazy on this because then you could end up, spending all of your budget within the first few hours, which can happen. So you got to be careful with that. Moving this around right here. Now, another thing you can do whenever you're optimizing your auto campaigns is you can come over here to the negative targeting section right here. And I'm going to try to block out these keywords. Let's see. Actually, I think they're set at the ad group level. Anyways, you can set these at, say, either the campaign level or the ad group level if you do, say, have a bunch of different ad groups inside of one campaign. It doesn't really make a difference which way you do it. These are all set at the ad group level. I'm not going to show these specific keywords because I don't want to, show what we're targeting and what we have, set up as far as ads go. But say I wanted to add a negative keyword in here. Let's say, for example, we go over here to, I'm going to go over here, let's see, ad groups. Let's say we're looking at our search terms. This is very important if you're running an auto campaign. Go over here to the ad group. You can click on it. Now I'm going to show you a few things that you can look at. You have the search terms, then there's also another section that is pretty important. So you have the targeting, you have the search terms, and you have the negative targeting. Let's see here. Oh, whoops. Go over here to the, let's see, I'm going to try to block this out. Search terms. Okay, we're gonna block this out so you can't actually see these search terms. You can still kind of see it, but anyways, let's say, for example, we're popping up for stuff that is just not related at all to our product. Well, what are you going to do? You can actually negative target this stuff. You can negative target ASINs or other products that you don't want to show up for whatever reason. If it's costing you a bunch of money, you can go in there to the negative targeting and add a specific product. Like, say, for example, you've got one specific product that has like 30 clicks and no sales. Well, you probably don't want to show up for that. So what you would do is you'd go in there and add it as a negative target, and then it's not going to show your ads under that product anymore. So you can also do it with the keywords. So say, for example, this keyword right here has 10 clicks and no sales. So we spent, let's just say we spent $25 and we hadn't gotten any sales. Well, we probably don't want to show up for that. So what we would do is you can set it as a negative target. So that is one way you can actually optimize by adding negative targets using the search terms data to, basically improve your results. Now you can come over here and you can see the different types of match types. So this is not as specific as search terms. Search terms is going to be specific to the actual, keywords that you're showing up for, the exact keywords, or the ASINs. So here you have the 4 different match types. With auto campaigns, in a sponsored product campaign, which I would recommend starting with if you're new to PPC, for a number of reasons. Without going into too much detail, you want to start with a sponsored product campaign. Sponsored brand campaigns are also good. You'll see those on there if you're brand registered. And then you also have sponsored display, which I don't really like. I don't really care for those as much. They can be useful, but I don't really run them. Here you have your close match, your substitutes, your loose match, and your complements. So what does this mean? These are just basically the 4 different match types in your automatic campaign. So let's say, for example, if you go over here and we look at this, let's say this loose match, let's just say, for example, this loose match type is getting a bunch of clicks, but it's not getting any sales. Well, what you could do is you could lower the bid on this to try to reduce the spend, or what you could do is you could also just pause it altogether. So you could lower the bid to try to reduce the cost per click, or you could actually just pause it altogether. Now, typically when I'm running my campaigns, no matter what types of campaigns I'm running, I'm going to run down only. So even if I'm running a manual campaign, if I'm running a automatic campaign like in this case, it's going to be a down only campaign. So what does that mean? If you come over here and you look at this campaign, let's take a look here. Click on the campaign, wait for it to load. Give it just a second. Okay, let's see here. Okay, let's see, campaign settings. Now, okay, so, all right. If you go over here, right here you can see your campaign bidding strategy. So you see a few different options here. I'm going to basically explain what these mean. Dynamic bids, down only, this is what you're going to want to run most of the time. The reason for this is you want a low cost per click. You don't want to pay more per click when you could be paying less, if that makes sense. With dynamic bids up and down, I was actually told by a team of experts to use this in the research or in the testing phases, but now, after gaining some experience, I don't necessarily agree with this. So there are some strategies and some things you can do with the up and down, but I would stay away from that, especially if you're newer. When you're starting out, you want a low cost per click, so really down only is going to be your best bet. What you might see in some cases is, say you start an auto campaign, you start one that's a down only campaign, you start another that's an up and down campaign. What you might see is the down only campaign could get like $1 cost per click. And then the up and down campaign could get $1.50 or $2. It would be a higher cost per click typically than the down only campaign. And you want the lowest cost per click possible most of the time. So those are some basic tips on getting started and how to optimize your automatic campaigns. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them below in the comments. I may make another video and make this into a series on how to actually, run your Amazon ads and even scale them if you're trying to successfully run ads on Amazon. So anyways, that's it for now. That should be basically everything you need to know to get started running your automatic campaigns and start getting some sales on Amazon. So that should be about it for now. But anyways, if you like the video, feel free to subscribe, and I will be releasing some more content on how to properly optimize everything on Amazon Seller Central and how to scale your business on Shopify. Basically just a lot of different content to do with e-commerce. So anyways, that's it for now. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe below, and I'll see you guys later.